Guys, welcome back to Pet Brand Podcast, where we delve into the world of pet entrepreneurs to uncover the stories, strategies, and insight behind some of the most innovative pet brands. I'm your host, Warneth, and today we have a very special guest with us. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome June, the founder of Hey Pawfriends, a revolutionary platform connecting pet brands and pet influencers for seamless and impactful collaboration. Whether you are a brand looking to build your next influencer campaign or pet influencer looking for exciting partnership, Hey Pop Friends makes the process simple, transparent, and effective. In this episode, we will be discussing everything from the inspiration behind Hey Pop Friend to the growing world of pet influencers, the challenges of building a digital first platform, and what's the future holds for pet marketing. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Hi June, how are you doing?
Hi, Rani. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. Just
Great.
introducing. Hi, everyone. This is our intern, Mario.
What
Yeah.
was the name? I forgot the name.
Sorry, his name is Mario.
Mario. Yes, yes, Mario.
Yes.
So Mario is also joining us with the call. Really
Yeah.
important guest. So yeah, starting with the most cliche question, but the important one. What inspired you to create Hey Pop Friends?
I think you are seeing the inspiration here. I adopted Mario 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and because he's so cute, I started posting him a lot on my own social media.
Mm-hmm.
And to not annoy my followers, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, maybe it's time for his own social media account.
Mm-hmm.
And I started an Instagram for him.
Mm-hmm.
We started as receiving brand deals. He
Okay.
was getting invited to events,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I just thought like, hey, maybe there's something here that I can look into. And as it turns out, it's still a relatively new market for pet influencers, and that's how I decided to jump into it.
Mm-hmm. And when was that?
Yeah, and this was last year. Hey Pawfriends was founded November 2023 under the program Founder Institute.
Mm-hmm. Amazing, amazing. And like starting new, whenever we start a new startup or any program, right? Like we face sort of challenge. So like, what sort of challenges did you face in starting your startups?
I think the first one of starting a tech startup is definitely the technical co-founder. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any, and um, that didn't stop me from working on the startup. But I was very fortunate to meet a friend in
Mm-hmm.
Founder Institute program who
Mm-hmm.
was actually about to start a pet business as well,
Mm-hmm.
and he also owns a web development agency. So he's our tech partner right now who helped us build the platform. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And do you have some sort of like a competitor in this space, in the pet influencer marketing space in Malaysia or in the world? Do you have some sort of a like a network or a competitor to the market?
Yeah, I before I joined them, before I start Hey Paul Friends, there were a few established key players in the market. But I
Mm-hmm.
would actually say that our biggest competitor is still that some brands are very much willing to do the own manual outreach process for pet
Mm-hmm.
influencers.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine between human influencers and pet influencers market. I in during my corporate time, I was working on human influencers market,
Mm-hmm.
and when I started looking at pet influencers market, it was quite lagging behind. It was
Mm-hmm.
not as advanced as the human influencer market.
Mm-hmm.
So many brands are still doing manual outreach, like personally message each of their account and say, hey, are you interested to be
Mm-hmm.
part of my deal?
Mm-hmm.
So rather than, I think all the key players in market have each of our strength. But right now, our bigger competitor is actually brands who are willing to do the work themselves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. And could you let the audience explain the whole process, like how the process works for brand and pet influencer on Hey Pop Friends, like the entire process from start to finish. If somebody wants to collab, influencer wants to collab, or a
Yeah.
brand wants the pet influencer, what's the whole process looks like?
Yeah. So I think you can imagine us
Yeah.
as a matchmaking platform.
Yeah. Can you
So
speak
for
that again?
brands,
Your
it's very
voice is
easy. Yeah.
lagging a
Sorry.
little bit.
Ah, okay, sure. I think you can imagine us as a matchmaking platform. So
Okay.
for brands and pet influencer, the registration process is very easy. Brand just need to go in, start subscribing, and have our 60-day free trial, and they can
Mm-hmm.
immediately start the campaign. So we
Mm-hmm.
have allocated a space for them to write down all their requirements clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And once they hit the submit button, the campaign will be live to all the pet influencers to see.
Okay.
And for
Mm-hmm.
pet influencers, just think of them as like a LinkedIn for them. It's like
Okay.
a job board for
Uh-huh.
them. They can go in and see, yeah, they can go in and see, hey, I have 5 campaigns here that I can apply to.
Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
Uh, and they can review, oh, it's actually very simple. And I get sponsored products have the say to either approve or reject them
Uh-huh.
for different reasons. Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
up until the point of submitting complaint, everything happens on the platform. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And the more simple it is, the more easier for them to apply. So the more people are attracted to it.
Yes, correct. It's literally just a click and and you are able to review the pet influencer profile as well. We do have, oh, this is their Instagram profile, this is their TikTok
Uh-huh.
profile. Yeah, it makes it save so much time for both sides. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So there was there any some sort of like a really successful pet influencer campaign on Hey Pet Friend so far?
We are relatively new, 3 months since our launch, but
Uh-huh.
we do see a few case study. For example, so in Malaysia is slightly different. We have different races and different group of audiences,
Mm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
always a challenge to introduce, for example, Chinese-centric product to Malay audience or Malay-centric product to Chinese audience. So
Mm-hmm.
what we have done with one of the brands is to push their initially very Chinese customer-centric brand
Mm-hmm.
to the Malay audience as well, to boost their awareness in another group of audience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have also seen cases where non-pet brands
Mm.
are starting to target pet owners with our campaign. Yeah. Those are some of the most interesting cases with us so far.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Regarding your brand vision and future plans, like where do you see Paw Friend after like 5 years? What are your long-term goals for this platform?
I think for every startup they will tell you that like we are just trying to live for another day. But
Uh-huh.
for us the vision is I think it's a junction where we can think whether we want to expand horizontally, like we start offering other marketing services, or we
Uh-huh.
want to
Mm-hmm.
focus on the niche of pet influencer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for us right now, we just try to focus on this niche of pet influencers and
Mm-hmm.
do it well, but we'll likely expand to other market. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Amazing. I was going to ask
yeah,
you like, what, like, are you willing to, are you like thinking of spending, expanding your services, like, offering services like SEO or like website development to pet brand? Is that something that you're thinking?
yeah. I think it's very tempting to try to do that. But honestly, I was not trained as a marketing specialist in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And the best bet for us right now is to leverage on my expertise and try to do just pet influencer pillar well first before we start expanding into other areas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, are you looking for some sort of like funding? Like, are you approaching any investor for your pet brand in sort of investment?
Um, to be very honest, in the beginning, when I first started as an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that VC approach is the only way. Like it should be the only way to go. I needed to get
Uh-huh.
my first
Uh-huh.
funding to get things going.
Mm-hmm.
And after being at, I started to realize, hey, actually VC fund is for you to grow and scale when you figure out something, when you already have product market fit, not
Mm-hmm.
for you to take and figure out something along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So Hey Pawfriends is bootstrapped since inception. I'm burning my own savings since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And recently we have started seeing revenue. Our revenue is enough to cover our operating expenses right now.
That's
And we are
amazing.
starting to take in more bigger project as well. So it will likely stay bootstrapping so far
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
until we figure out product market fit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any
Yeah.
strategies that you have seen like that is the most effective in promoting your platform that you have seen like this is working, this is not working?
To be honest, we are putting money where our mouth is, where our word is. We are using our pet influencer. Uh, at the beginning, building a brand is very difficult, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in the pet community, I think it's all about trust. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
do people in my circle trust video for us to introduce us as a brand and platform? And that has been working well for us actually. Yeah. And right now we are just leveraging partnership with local brands and really focusing on building relationship and trust within the community.
Uh-huh. Amazing, amazing. Any trends that
Yeah.
you are seeing in the pet influencer space recently?
And influencer space. Um, more humanization happening. I'm sure you would realize as well.
Uh-huh.
We are starting to see services like Pet Cairo in Malaysia. Just
Okay. Uh-huh.
the the kind of services that usually are only available to human are now
Mm-hmm.
starting to be available for pets. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one. There's a lot of humanization happening.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I think just within the social media space, video is taking over.
Mm-hmm.
We rarely
Absolutely.
seen yeah, correct. Short form video is taking over, and
Mm-hmm.
it's usually the main requirements of brand. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
also brands are very smart in leveraging on pet influencer content right now. Usually we will add each other as collaborator. So one video will appear in three different accounts, and that takes away some of the effort in building your own social media content. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. Like, since you are dealing with the clients and influencer, is it like, have you seen any sort of like conflict between the brands and the influencer? Any situation like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's inevitable, especially in like services industry like us. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say it as conflict, but one particular case we remember was that the pet influencer applied for a campaign, and unfortunately, the cat really doesn't like the product and refused to eat the product at all. And we all
Okay.
know how much of a it is, no offense to the brand, but cats are picky eater,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't force them. And I think with us, we just try to handle everything with professionalism.
Yeah.
Uh, we spoke to the brands, and fortunately, the brand is very understanding as well.
Mm-hmm.
And for our part, we do offer to say like, uh, can we compensate you for the product? And they are very understanding, and they said, no, it's fine. We'll just find another pet influencer who are interested
Mm-hmm.
in the product. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it just resolved like in a very friendly manner, and luckily it didn't escalate further. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what do you
yeah.
like? What do you enjoy the most working with the startups? Since it is like something that you enjoy doing the pet world and everything. So, what is the something that you enjoy the most in the with your startup?
Um, I think first of all, like having passion for pet is just the only thing that keeps me going right now. Even
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when the situation is really tough, oh, I just
Mm-hmm.
scroll through the pet videos and I'm like, "Oh, they're so cute," and immediately you just like you're being relieved and you
You're
forgot about your
charged
problems
to
for a second.
yeah, you were charged to work again for this.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And regarding startup world, I think when they say no one day is the same as another,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it applies to the problems. Like you wouldn't know what kind of problem you will encounter that day. It could be a tech issue, or it could be, for example, the conflict we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but also the side of things is amazing as well. The
Mm-hmm.
highs are crazy high, the lows are extremely low.
Absolutely. Uh-huh.
So yeah, yes, correct. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we speak enough about the lows. sometimes you just sit and think about it and like, wow, I didn't realize I could do that. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Mm.
something I really enjoy about starting a business. Yeah.
It's a roller
The
coaster
growth.
ride.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Even in my business, sometimes I just feel like, wow, like I'm at the top of the world, and the next day something just crashed.
Yes, yes.
Then you feel like, oh,
Yeah.
like what how did that happen, right? It is just but I think most entrepreneurs
Yeah.
chase that kind of like chaos, because I did chase
Yes.
that chaos, because I cannot just work on just one thing for the entire day,
Correct.
right? I have to handle clients, I have to handle my own team, then I have to handle the marketing of my own business. So that's like I'm playing
Yes.
so many roles, and I guess that's addicting for me, and I guess that's
Yes,
something.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
And I I've experienced one day where it literally in the morning a client told us, yes, let's proceed, and you're like experiencing super high. And on the same day in the evening, another
mhm.
client said, oh no, actually this isn't what we are looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately we won't be proceeding. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
it's very conflicting, yeah. But I think it's very fun so far. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even in my case, like when we get on a call with the prospect, and everything is looking amazing, everything looks positive,
Mm,
and they are like, oh yeah, when can we start? I'm like, yeah, sure.
yeah.
I send them a contract, I send them the invoice, everything is done, and then then they
Went
just go.
quiet.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have to follow up with them again, and there are clients like that, because I think what we don't feel like, okay, they are also busy with their life, right? So we don't really see
Yes,
that
correct.
thing. Yeah, and we feel like that, okay, that person is just ghosting us. So that's what, there was this one client who was like ready to work with us, and what really happened is that we sent the invoice, we sent the contract, then after that they just kind of like stopped replying to our messages, and it
Oh
happened. But
no.
yeah, and then we followed up with them, like probably alternatively day we kept following. Then after 2 months, she's replying back, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I was traveling, and I just forgot about this." And then we worked on this. So that's really happened. That's the high and low of
Yeah.
working, and then having a startup of their own. So yeah, just wanted to carry on with the conversation. What are the, like, if for example I am a pet brand, I have a pet brand, and I want to find an influencer, like what are the key factors to consider when selecting a pet influencer for a campaign that a brand should look for?
I think after some observations, it's very natural for brands to lean towards the number of followers of a pet influencer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very easily like, hey, this person has 70K followers, let's work with this person. But
Mm-hmm.
I would advise a pet brand who's about to working with pet influencers is
Mm-hmm.
to look for the pet influencers in your niche instead. So, for example, if you are a pet food brand or if you are a pet treat, or even pet supplement,
Mm-hmm.
you should focus on uh pet account who does food preparation, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That's in your niche, right? And you know people who follow this account is generally interested in how to better their pet's food or to provide better food for their pet. And it's
Mm-hmm.
a more targeted approach, although they might have a smaller following.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to find pet influencers in your niche. And
Mm-hmm.
also, pet influencer campaign should not be like okay, I launch once and then I go disappear. It should be like a sustained effort. Uh, there should be some sort of activity with pet influencer on a monthly basis so that you
Mm-hmm.
stay in the conversation within the
Mm-hmm.
pet community. Yeah,
Making
yeah,
consistent efforts from your side.
correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From what we see, a lot of brands just think of pet influencer as part of their launch campaign, and they work with them once and then they carry on with their own
Mm-hmm.
operation after a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important you can scale it down
Mm-hmm.
to a lower number of pet influencer, but it's important to keep your brand in
Mm-hmm.
discussion within the pet community. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, like I think for any brands, working long term with any pet influencers is a better deal, because then you have the consistency of, okay, I have an influencer who can handle this thing, and instead of
Yes.
rehiring more influencer for the campaigns.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like you build a relationship with the influencer who's genuinely into your brand. And
Mhm.
I think in the long term, the pet influencer can sort of serve as your mini ambassador for your brand. Yeah, that works as well.
Mm-hmm. Amazing, amazing. So, last question from my end, June. If you could give one piece of advice to anyone who's starting their pet startup or anything related to the pet industry, like what advice would you give to them? Whatever is experience that you had of this starting this thing.
I would say it, I think it sounds like a cliche, but definitely just try to talk to your customers. Like
Mm-hmm.
especially, uh, I I think to start a pet brand, it will be important that you yourself are a owner. I know there are some cases uh that founders are not pet owners themselves. I
Mm-hmm.
do think if you are a pet owner, you truly understand what a pet owner goes through and what they are thinking. And it makes
Mm-hmm.
it so much easier when you're crafting your marketing strategy or your advertising.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Speak to your customers, especially like for example, if you're planning to develop either a mass product or a premium supplement, you should speak
Mm-hmm.
to the right audience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to
Mm-hmm.
them, see how their day goes and how much they're spending on their current product to get a better sense for your product
Mm-hmm.
positioning. I think secondly, just be willing to uh as you started, just be willing to listen to the market and be flexible to change. Yeah. So sharing a bit of experience, when I first started, I
Mm-hmm.
was pretty adamant at just making Hey Pawfriends a tech platform. Like right now we already started managed service for larger brands,
Mm-hmm.
but because that's what the market demands. Uh
Mm-hmm.
when I first started, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing services. I'm just going to focus on developing on my platform. But the market says otherwise, and
Oh,
uh,
then you have to
yeah,
adapt
and
with according to the market. Yeah.
yes, correct. Like bigger brands just don't have like they are juggling so many things, and they just
Mm-hmm.
need someone to craft the campaign strategy for them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
now we have changed. We have two pillars in our business model right now. The platform is for smaller business who prefer to do things on their own, and
Mm-hmm.
it just makes their life easier. They can just click and go. But
Mm-hmm.
for bigger brands, they require more sophistication in their campaign strategy, and they
Mm-hmm.
do have certain budget to spend. So we also catered solution for them, and that's clearer proposition for us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And I also
yeah,
like instead of reinventing the wheel,
yes,
just focusing on what's working and what the market needs, right? Because
yes, correct, correct.
sometimes we just get more aligned towards like, okay, we need to build something new, and that's how
Yes,
we'll stand out. But that's what I have felt because in like the marketing services that we sell, I always, I was like more towards moving towards like shiny syndrome, right? Okay, this
yes,
is the
correct.
new thing. TikTok is the new thing. Let's just focus on that. This is the new thing.
Yes,
So then my team basically suggested me like, why not just focus on things that are already working instead of trying to invent something new.
chase the next thing. Yeah,
Yeah, just just do the things that were already working. So then we started focusing on the services that are already working for the pet brands, and now it's smooth. It's the smooth process.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so we are also the same. I know AI is like the hottest topic in the market right now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not but I do think it improve our life. So we do have plan to include in our platform, but
Mm-hmm.
with the objective of easing the pet influencers' life. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
for example, copywriting they don't have to come up with their own.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we are not planning to reinvent how the industry
Mm-hmm.
works. It
Mm-hmm.
just makes things easier for everybody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like campaigning, integrating it with Chat GPT so that they can write the caption and all. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also like, riding the wave of whatever trends is going on. That's also helpful. It just gives you a little bit edge in the market. For example, if you have like Hey Pawfriend.ai, you're like, oh yeah, this is
Yes.
not integrating there. That will help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we definitely will not like shift the whole direction
Mm-hmm.
around AI. And like you said, just focus on what the market needs rather than reinvent a whole new thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing, amazing. June, it's been an absolute pleasure learning about Hey Pop Friend and how you're transforming the way pet brands and influencer collaborate. Your platform offers a fresh, tech-driven approach to influencer marketing, and I'm sure our listener and whoever listening this are headed understand like what Pawfriend is all about. So to all our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Pet Brand Podcast. And if you want to learn more about Hey Pawfriends or connect with June, I will have all the links in the description below. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for your time, June.
Thank you so much.